Hi everyone! I wanted to share a quick tutorial on breaking down Sun Salutations so that you practice them a little bit safer at home. I find a lot of people move through a Chaturanga very unsafely at times, so I just wanted to give you some modifications, some options, so that you can practice it in a way that's a little bit safer for you, and also at the same time trying to build up more strength. So instead of just kind of flowing through it without thinking about it too much and just trying to get through it because it's the part of the practice that you're not crazy about, maybe this will help you feel a little bit more empowered throughout the practice. Sun Salutations are a really phenomenal way to journey inward, because what it's doing is that it's allowing us to link our breath together with our movements, and it's finally giving us the opportunity to check in. What part of my body am I not aware of? What part of my body am I using too much? You'll probably notice that you're using it too much if you're feeling it too intensely in certain parts. So the first thing, always establishing the breath, of course, understanding that you're trying to lengthen the breath into a smoother quality of rhythmic breathing. And once you have that, let's go ahead and get started. So finding yourself with your feet pressing down into the mat, lengthening your heart up towards the sky, and feeling yourself establish your roots. Notice that once you come to Samasthiti, you want to feel yourself lengthening up towards the sky with your hearts, activating the quadriceps, and instead of letting the toes point outward, point your toes in line with your heels. If you have lower back pain, then sometimes it's nice to keep your feet separated the distance of your hips. No lower back pain, then bring your toes touching. And from there, engaging the low abdomen. Instead of letting the low belly do as it wants, we're trying to redistribute energy more intelligently in our body. So instead of just letting gravity push you down, swoop the abdomen, the low belly especially, upwards. Lengthen up your low back. Open up the shoulders, shoulder blades down the spine. This is Samasthiti. So this is where you start to establish your breathing, nice and rhythmic. And the first part, when you first inhale and lengthen your arms up towards the sky, instead of just reaching them up overhead, you're trying to find more dynamic energy in your system. So root down through your heels. Feel your shoulder blades slide down your spine as you reach your arms up. And at the same time, instead of just staying here, can you now lift your rib cage up away from your pelvic floor, send your hands up higher towards the sky. Maybe your palms will touch. And then from there, exhale into a forward fold. I like to bring my hands into prayer down the center of my body this way, because if you reach your arms out, then that's putting a little bit more weight on your low back. So it's your journey, your practice, but notice how it feels. So we'll come back to standing. Inhale, reach the rib cage and arms all the way up. Feel your heart floating up, look up. Exhale, forward fold, micro bend the knees if you have lower back pain. Inhale, opening up the chest for your halfway lift. So in your halfway lift, try to find as much space as possible, especially in the low back. So instead of rounding into your spine and doing one of these guys, your halfway lift is opening up the chest, separation of the shoulders and the front part of your body, shoulder blades down the spine. If you have really open hamstrings, then maybe you can press your hands down onto your mat, gazing forward, sitting bones moving up higher, or you plant your fingertips onto the mat. The next step is exhaling to plank position. So pressing the palms down onto the mat, step the feet back, mindful of your transitions. So we want to be aware of every single part of the process. Once you arrive in your plank, if you already notice that you're feeling too much pain on your wrists, maybe let yourself come onto your knees. At the very beginning, when you're first starting a yoga practice, it's always okay to come onto the knees. It's really challenging to stay in plank if you have wrist pain. So once you're down onto the knees, keep your low belly engaged. If you're not on the knees, keeping your low belly engaged. You shouldn't notice the shoulder blades popping up towards the sky. So instead of letting the shoulder blades pop up towards the sky and letting your chest collapse down towards your mat, you're trying to find openness through your shoulders, space through your shoulder blades. So separating your shoulders away from each other, keeping the low belly engaged. This is your plank position. Notice that you're sending the crown of the head forward, that you're sending your low belly up towards the heart space, that you're lengthening up your low back as much as you can. If you're down onto your knees, you're still engaging the low belly. Next is Chaturanga. So for Chaturanga, most of the time people just kind of flow through it into an upward dog, but then you don't really get the benefits of challenging yourself. Chaturanga is incredibly challenging. And in yoga practices, we want to try to find ourselves where we feel discomfort and find a way to comfort ourselves. So once you arrive into your plank, the next is exhale for Chaturanga. Bend the elbows directly behind you. Instead of falling onto the belly, maybe you only micro bend the elbows. Stay there, building up the strength, keeping the low belly engaged, keeping the toes tucked under. This will help you transition into your upward dog. Inhale, sending your hips forward into your upward dog, sending your shoulders back behind you, lifting up your heart. So let's go ahead and come down to the knees. Interlace your fingers behind your back, pull open your shoulders, give yourself a little break before we keep on. So once again, making sure that instead of coming all the way onto the belly without trying to create any strength in your shoulders, realizing that we're trying to make ourselves feel slightly more challenged and at the same time building up the strength in our shoulders. Keeping the low belly engaged is going to especially protect your low back. When you're transitioning from the exhale to Chaturanga, inhale to up dog, if your low belly is doing whatever it wants, then your low back is going to take a lot of the strain. So protect your low back, engage the low belly. Coming back to a plank position, noticing either knees off the mat or knees on the mat, bending into the elbows, exhale Chaturanga. Elbows go straight behind you, not out to the side. Inhale, upward dog. Send the shoulders back, lifting the heart. Exhale, come back onto the heels. So check in with your wrists, shake out the wrists a little bit. We're going to take it a step further. If you want to feel how it would, notice how it would feel with your knees up off the mat. Also noticing that it's the same thing, where you don't have to come all the way down into 90 degrees with the bend of the elbows. Instead, focus more on building up your strength where you are now, honoring your journey. It's not about comparing yourself to your yoga teacher or comparing yourself to other people on Instagram. It's where you are today. We're trying to expand our window of tolerance. So challenge yourself to focus more on practicing without judging yourself. Coming into a plank position, once again, inhale, lengthen up your body. Exhale, see how far back your elbows will bend. Don't fall onto the belly. When you feel you're going to fall onto the belly, bring your hips forward, inhale into an upward dog. Send the shoulders back behind you. And then the next part of that, if you feel you have the strength to go into Chaturanga the way that it should be, you're keeping your low belly engaged and your elbows will go back behind you into a 90-degree angle. So keeping the low belly engaged, lengthening up through the neck. Exhale, Chaturanga. Keeping the low belly engaged, slide your toes back behind you, pull yourself forward, inhale, upward dog, open up the shoulders, and then exhale into a downward dog. The final step of your Sun Salutations, or one of the final steps. So in your downward dog, noticing that you don't want to come onto your shoulders. You want to make sure that instead of coming onto the shoulders, you're trying to send your armpits towards the tops of your thighs. So if you need to bend into your knees so that you're not bringing yourself onto your shoulders, bend into your knees. Try to find your sitting bones, pivoting up higher towards the sky, and relax the head completely. If you feel tightness in your shoulders, then maybe separate your arms a little bit wider than shoulder distance apart, and pivot your sitting bones up towards the sky. If you're super flexible, do not hyperextend at the armpits trying to get your armpits close to your thighs. Instead, we're trying to find a smooth, straight line from your wrists all the way through your sitting bones. So find the length all throughout your spine, sending your sitting bones just a little bit higher. And then look towards the top of your mat. Inhale to step the feet forward towards the very top of your mat. Open up the chest, halfway lift, lengthen your spine, engage the low belly. Exhale, forward fold, relaxing the neck. Micro bend the knees if you have back pain. Inhale to reach the arms all the way up. Pull the rib cage up. Once again, pelvic floor roots you down. Exhale, Samasthiti, hands by the side. Now we're going to move through 3 Sun Salutation A, just to create some internal body heat and to practice what we just learned. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Pull the rib cage up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, planting the hands down, step it back into a plank position. Lengthen your body in your plank, press the heels behind you, press the crown of the head forward. Exhale, Chaturanga. Only bend the elbows until you feel you're gonna fall, and then from there, slide forward between your hands with your hips, open up the shoulders, and exhale, downward dog. 5 slow rhythmic inhales and exhales. With every breath, you're reassessing. Am I using too much of one part of my body? Can I activate awareness in another part of my body? Can I feel a little bit more length at the end of my exhales? Smooth rhythmic breath. One more. Open the lips. Gazing towards the top of your mat. Inhale to slowly walk the feet all the way forward. To open up the chest, halfway lift, lengthen your spine, hands on shins or on the mat. Exhale, forward fold, relax the neck. Inhale and rise. Micro bend the knees if you have lower back pains. Reach the arms all the way up. Pull up your rib cage and exhale, Samasthiti. 2 more. Inhale, arms all the way up. Lift the rib cage up. Exhale to forward fold, relaxing the neck. Inhale, open up the chest, halfway lift, hands on shins or on the mat. Exhale, planting the hands down, step it back into your plank position. Take a deep inhale at your plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Come onto the knees if you need it. Bend the elbows directly behind you. Inhale, upward dog. Send the hip bones forward. Shoulders move back. And exhale, downward dog. 5 slow inhales and exhalations. Try to find a smooth quality of breath. Let yourself comb through your nervous system with your breath. Relaxing through your neck, maybe shaking your head yes and no. One more inhale. Open the lips. Gazing towards the top of your mat. Inhale, step the feet all the way forward. Opening up the chest, halfway lifts. And exhale, forward fold, relaxing the neck. Inhale to rise, reaching the arms all the way up. Lengthen your rib cage up away from pelvic floor. Look up. Exhale, Samasthiti, hands by the side. Last one. Inhale, arms and rib cage go up. Feel your heart float up. Exhale, slowly forward fold, relaxing the neck. Inhale to open up the chest, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale to plant the hands down, stepping it back into a plank position. Be mindful of how your toes are sliding back at the end of your exhale, at the ends of your Chaturanga, so that you can then roll forward on the tops of your feet for inhale, upward dog. So exhale, Chaturanga. Notice that my toes are still tucked under, and then from there, you're gonna inhale, pull yourself forward between your hands, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Roll over the tops of your feet, 5 slow inhales and exhales, reestablishing a smooth quality of breath. Trying to create space for your neck and shoulders. Trying to pivot your sitting bones up higher towards the sky. If you bend into one knee at a time, then move slowly so you can truly find yourself releasing that connective tissue that latches on to your joints and your muscles. One more nice long inhale. Gaze to the top of your mat and slowly come all the way forward. Inhale to open up the chest, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, relaxing the neck. Inhale to rise, reaching the arms all the way up overhead. Gaze up, palms will touch overhead, look towards your thumbs. Exhale, Samasthiti, hands by the side. Great job. So let me know how that went for you. Let yourself take some rest to reestablish yourself balancing your nervous system. Every time you accelerate your heart rate, you should find yourself coming back to a state of homeostasis and balance. So feeling your heart rate come back to normal, natural rhythm, so you don't go into the rest of your day feeling really reactive. So thank you guys so much. Let me know how that felt. And if you have any questions about Chaturanga modifications or the transition into your inhale up dog, don't hesitate to reach out to me, Francie Prana on Instagram, Franci Prana, Prana. And thank you guys all for watching the video. Let me know how it goes.